What's going on today, people? It's a beautiful day as every other day is, whether it's raining outside or the sun is shining. And I'm going to talk about my fragrance today, which you probably heard me wear it before. BDK Tobacco Rose. This is fire. If you could catch it for under 200, you lucky. If you ain't, no well. So I wanted to do a quick discussion today. And this is kind of, you can kind of put this under rants. And this rant came from someone trying to expose a guru. And the reason why this rant is so important is I want to talk about this dynamic between people who seek gurus or who seek assistance in this game between certain gurus. Now we're gonna use the word scam. Okay, so I want to first of all let's go look up what scam means. So when you call somebody a scam, you better make sure who this person is, because I hate when people do this. They work with somebody, then that person either refuses to pay them or refuses something, whatever. I don't know what the whole dynamic is. I don't care. Well, that person refuses them, and then now the person feels needed to expose them. Okay, now this ain't me. This is somebody else. So I'm just going into it because I'm not really trying to besmirch people. Okay, when I did a video and I showed Yusuf doing a talking, this video is not my video. So people took it as if I was trying to expose Yusuf in high frequency radio. I would not disrespect Yusuf in high frequency radio because I've gotten a lot of information from that channel. But I want to talk about this dynamic because some people, when you try to offer assistance to people, they try to call you a guru. Now, this talk comes from two videos I watched. One video I watched was from some dude trying to expose Dan Locke and Robert Kiyosaki. I don't know. I keep calling him Howard Kiyosaki, but Robert Kiyosaki, calling them fake gurus, even though they're not. Dan Locke might be. I never dealt with him, but we have to understand what phrases are. We can't just use phrases. So let's look at what scam is. Okay. Scam, the intentional use of deceit, a trick, or some dishonest means to deprive another of his, her, its money, property, or a legal right. So, by that general usage of the word, what the person who described this so called guru for or was, uh, they're lying. Okay, so when it comes down, I don't know the intimacy because there's an actual video I am talking about besides that video. You have to look at what a person's intentions is to do a scam. So if I'm trying, my intentions are to help you, but I may give you advice that might mess up, or I'll give you advice, or you could have taken the advice and done something else, which could have caused it to mess up. There's no evidence of that because people used to come to me about certain gurus and they'd be like, oh, well, I tried to do a consultation with that guru, or I did consultations and I spent money and I was in the memberships and I spent years and years and years on the memberships or this, and I didn't get any remedy. Once I started hearing that, the longer I got into this, trying to assist people, I started to understand that it's not always the so-called guru. Sometimes it's the person you're working with. Sometimes people are very hard-headed. They're stubborn. Sometimes people want to bring up their own remedies into a situation to where it's not needed. Sometimes people actually need understanding and they fail to ask for it too. So the whole this guru is a scam artist, that guru is not a scam artist, they're real, I got remedy over there. People only gonna rate you off remedy because people don't really want understanding anyway. Understanding is the remedy, not these little processes you guys pay for. That ain't shit. And I've told people numerous times that ain't shit. You guys think that you're going to reach out to somebody, they're going to give you something, some process, and it's going to make you rich. Now you have to ask, what price are you paying for that? Like if I help you discharge a car, right, and I charge you for my consultation fee, and you discharge the car, what do I get out of that? I get nothing, but I get happy that you actually took something that I may have created or a process I may have showed you, or I may have put some things together for you to help that happen. That's my payback out of it. But you get a whole damn car. So the guru is always getting shafted, not the student. The student is the one shafting the guru because the guru doesn't have to give you their information. They could just say they could stay still. So what I've learned from doing consultations and things, I don't offer mentorships anymore. And there's reasons why. Because I used to stay up writing people's motions and they wouldn't even use them. So the motion I would stay up writing, people wouldn't even use. These were motions that were based off of all of their state law. Meaning, at this time, while I was doing mentorships, I didn't. My computer went to in a fritz, so I only had my 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 cell phone and all of the information that I had from my laptop on my cell phone. Right, and I stopped doing mentorship because people, even while I was mentoring them, they would still seek other guidance from other people, and what happens is you get into this soup of ego, basically, where if you talk to somebody about somebody else's processes, they go, "Oh, my processes are better." And the reason why they say that is because it's just like if you go to, like, say if there's 10 hot dog vendors lined up and they all selling glizzies, they're gonna be like, "My glizzy is better than his glizzy." Why? Because nobody's gonna sit there and say, "Oh, my glizzy is just average. It's not good as all these other." It's salesmanship. So that's what makes this. That's why I have a video saying, "Is discharging debt is it a scam?" Well, some people are gonna say, "Yeah, that is a scam," and it's like, no, it's not a scam. You have to understand that a person showing you remedy does not mean that they're getting remedy. People can conspire. Look on the internet, like with most um corporations, right? Corporations, they can pay people to actually say, "Oh, this product is good." Yeah. So you guys don't know that when you're reading stuff on the internet that you don't know that those people who are putting those type of comments and giving that type of reverence can actually be paid to do it. So there really is no proof in this game. Even if I showed you proof of a discharge that I did, even if I show you proof that I discharged a court case, unless I take myself and I say, you know what, I'm going to be the attorney, or I file a notice of appearance, it's going to be very hard to show that somebody used my method to do something. Even though I just made my stuff more simple. I mean, you could do a conditional acceptance the way in the system that I do that I show. You can do accepted for value in the system that I show. Because I'm following the state's laws. I'm not following anything else. So I don't go into court trying to do accepted for values. You can accept charges. You can do whatever you want. So you have to understand that remedy is not coming from the guru. Remedy is coming from you. So even if I had a DVD or a recording or a Google Meets or a Zoom call, and on this Zoom call, it has how to unlock every debt remedy or debt discharge remedy, you still have to do the research. So I think what people come when they come to so-called gurus sometimes, I think they come looking for someone to blame instead of looking for someone to learn from. So if I give you a process, it works. Most of the time when people get processes that work, they disappear. And then all of a sudden, a year ago or a few months pop up, then they're using your process and then they're saying that they invented it. There is no love in this game. There is no love in this situation. I'm just telling you how long I'm dating myself, how long I've been in this. I've been in here. I've been in this so long. I remember when Jonah Bay and Yusufel were cool. I'm not saying they're not cool anymore, um, or anything, but I remember when they were cool. I remember when Patrick Devine and Gene Keaton were cool. You know what I'm saying? So things change. throughout the history, because what happens is a lot of times with so-called gurus or people who are very knowledgeable about this, is it's an ego thing. You know what I'm saying? So if a lot of people who dropped their egos would have got together, this movement would have been light years ahead. But when I bring up Jonah Bay and Yusuf El, it's nothing, or Patrick Devine and Gene Keaton. There's a lot of so-called gurus that fell out, or people, because my attention, I don't think that they were trying to be gurus. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about certain things. Um, when it comes down to this learning experience, if I asked most people who failed how much time they spent on this, I guarantee you it would be slim to nothing. Yeah, people are gonna lie to me. Oh, I spent 5 hours a day on it. You're full of shit. Because if you spend 5 hours a day, you should have this stuff. What I didn't start understanding this stuff, even though I was studying it for years. I didn't start understanding it until uh, uh, my job situation changed. Once I got laid off from my job, and then I was like, I'm retired. I'm not going back. I'm not going back to the workforce, etc. That's when I started getting knowledge, because I had a whole 24 hours a day. So if you have a whole 24 hours a day, you should be studying, studying, studying. So if you lose your job, you should be studying how to build a business, not how to get another job. And what happens is you people who get into this movement, they don't take time to actually think about how much time they allocate towards this movement. Some people will say, "Hey, I was in this movement for 5 years," and I'm like, "Okay, how much time did you allocate per day?" And they're like, "I didn't do this daily." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's why you was in it for 5 years." You see what I'm saying? So a lot of you guys will say, "I've been studying for a month," and I'm like, "Well, how much time did you put into studying for that month? Well, where did you? How did you study?" Well, I was watching videos. That is not studying. You watching videos because you lazy. You see what I'm saying? You're not studying. You just watching these videos. Most people watch these videos, and they're not videos of substance. It's videos of somebody basically trying to tell you how to do a remittance coupon, a Form 56, all this bullshit you can figure out on your own. But you don't understand why things work or why they don't. The understanding is worth more than any of these remedies. Because once you have understanding, a person could put you in any situation and you'll find a way to get out of it. So for a lot of you guys, you're purchasing remedies, and that's what's going to disappoint you. You're trying to say, oh, well, how do I endorse a remittance coupon? Is it endorsed like this? Is it endorsed like that? How do I transfer my rights? I'm like, you can look that up on your own. So all I offer is consultations, and I offer training or learning material. I don't get into mentorship as of yet. I'm not built for that. Um, if I did a mentorship, it would just be a bunch of students in a class, and it would not be a one-on-one situation at all. And the reason for that, there's a big reason for that. People individually will dump every problem they have on you. So if you call yourself trying to help somebody, they're just going to dump more problems on you. I've accomplished. I mean, I've done this before, so I know that once I offer mentorship, it'll be taxes. Then the next is gun charges. Then it's over that car loans and everything. It just gets worse and worse and worse, and then there's no end. But yeah, this is a rant basically because a lot of people get into this movement and they're expecting, oh man, you don't have no history of knowing this stuff. You didn't spend no time learning this stuff, but you will take a consultation with a so-called guru, spend the money, and you don't even understand what you just heard. So even if you do the consultation, it's going to take you years to even study up the consultation. So this is a reason why a lot of people do not get remedy. And remedy is really what you feel it is, what you need to be. Some people think, oh, well, if I go and I do a remittance coupon and they zero out my account, I got remedy. It's like, well, do you have to do that every month? Yeah. What do you think your remedy? But in your definition, hey, I saw evidence that it works. So what remedy is to somebody is what remedy isn't to somebody else. So different people have different levels of knowledge. So if a person is taking time to do consultations, because I remember when I started doing this, I was doing consultations for $50. I was doing an hour consultation for $50. It got so disrespectful. Like people would be on the phone just disrespecting me. Like, I can't believe you giving out all this information for $50. Why are you doing that for $50, man? There's people out here charging $500. I'm sitting there like, I thought I was doing good. So what happens? You start getting influenced. But no, I should have never been doing it because the information I was giving them out was worth way more than $50. But in this rant, I want you guys to understand that when it comes to so-called remedy, you'll get remedy through understanding. This is why I try to tell you to go to your state law, because your state law has everything in regards to negotiable instruments. It's in your state law. In regards to assignment and transfer of the negotiable instruments, it's in your state law. In regards to criminal code, it's in your state law. In regards to civil code, it's in your state law. You'll be very surprised that most of your traffic violations are not criminal. Most of you wouldn't even know that because you don't even look up your state laws. That's why I say look up your state laws. When I do consultation, I'm showing people their own state laws. These are things that they can find on their own. They don't need me to do this. Now, you may need me to put it together, but you don't need me to show you what state laws. You just need to read your state laws. And to understand why you look up your state laws and not federal law is civics. If you understand civics, then you'll understand your state is an insurance company. That's why they have the state of, okay? Remember the Constitution, in Article 1, Section 10, when people are talking about that you can't pay a debt beside gold or silver, that's bullshit. You could pay a debt with the instrument, meaning the contract. So when people are telling you this stuff, it's because they don't know no better. You see what I'm saying? Article 1, Section 10 is very clear. It says no state. The state of is a difference. It's an agency of a state. So it doesn't cover agencies. It covers states. So there's a lot of rambling. But with that being said, I want to get back to the basics. All right. So sometimes you have to get back to the basics to understand things. So let's get into what paper is under the legal element, legal definition. So what people have to understand is car loans, mortgages, deed of trust, etc., are not negotiable instruments. They are non-negotiable, but they do get converted into negotiable instruments, and I'm going to show you how by using the Black's Law Dictionary. I'm going to show you. Okay, so definition of citations. Now you remember when I said a piece of paper is not a negotiable instrument, it's not a contract, it's nothing but just a blank piece of paper. Okay, now here's the thing: when you put words on that piece of paper, voila, it suddenly gets value. Okay, that's the same with a note. That's the same with a bank draft. You could have a check. It could be a check, just a check template. All right. So you got the check. Until you put pay to the order on, the amount, the account number, the routing number, that check isn't worth anything. But it's still a check. So a written or printed document or instrument, a document filed or introduced in evidence in a suit at law as in phrase papers in the case and papers on appeal. Any writing or printed document, including letters, memoranda, legal or business documents, or what? Books of account. Okay. So if you guys want to know why you lose or why you fail in doing remedy, it's not what the guru is telling you, it's your level of understanding. Okay. Most people, I used to do consultations with people and they'd be like, hey, I did this, I did that. And I said, okay, well, did you enforce it? And they'll say, no, but I already did it. And I was sitting there like, well, you already did it, but you didn't enforce it. So if you're going to be a diddler, no, I'm saying a diddler. Anyway, if you're going to do something, you have to take it you have to finish it out. And that's what 99% of the people who I did consultations with, I would always ask them the same question, and they would always give me the same answer that no, they did not follow up. So instead of condemning the so called guru, how come you don't condemn the so called person that said that that guru wasn't anything? Of course, because most people aren't going to do that because you're giving them money. It's just like a guru's not going to condemn you for your effort that you did with the so-called last guru. They're going to blame the last guru. It's just like when you have you're in a relationship and your girl's talking about her ex, and you like, but I ain't nothing like him. You see what I'm saying? So people try to stand apart from that. All right, so we'll go into any writing, printing document, a memorandum, blah blah blah, legal or business documents, and books of account. Okay, this is why most of you guys lose because you don't have any books of account. All right, if somebody says that you owe them a debt, it's pretty good that they owe you a credit. So if they say you owe them a debit, they owe you a credit. Okay, listen to what I'm telling you. If they say you owe them a debit, they owe you a credit. As in the constitutional provision which protects the people from unreasonable searches and seizures in respects to their papers, okay, as well as their houses and persons. Well, if somebody, a bank or a financial institution, steals your house, your car, what do you think is the next challenge you should be talking about? Wouldn't that be constitutional? Is that a violation of the Constitution that they stole your house? Is that a violation of the Constitution that they put you on parole without a without a actual injury, without a crime? When they put you up as parole, what they do is they act as if you're the surety. Okay, and I'm going to show you what a surety is, so you understand it. So what a surety does is a surety indemnifies people. You see what I'm saying? So like when you get into a credit transaction, you're indemnifying people. You're agreeing to indemnify the United States, and you're agreeing to indemnify the state of, and you're agreeing to indemnify the alleged creditor. Okay, when you get into these alleged accounts or these bookkeeping accounts, your bookkeeper is saying, "Hey, we need you to debit the account so we could credit it." Okay, that means that the bookkeeper is holding one side of the ledger and you're holding the other side of the ledger. Evidence of that is the app or the online portal that keeps your houses your information. How do I know this? A lot of searching, a lot of researching, a lot of spent time. I wouldn't know any of this if I didn't understand and search because wisdom and knowledge comes from understanding. How you gonna have wisdom and knowledge you don't understand it? All right. Surety. Someone who assumes direct liability for another obligation. Okay. Now, if you go to my video where I was talking about it, it was which one is it called? Mind your own business. Okay. People get caught up in these words, right? They get caught up in the words like surety, okay? And they don't understand surety and I'm trying to think to that video because I busted that down that everybody is a corporation. It's not because your birth certificate. It's just basically you're conducting business, like it or not. Everybody tries to say, "Oh, I'm not in commerce. I'm not traveling commercial." Do you go to a gas station where you're driving? Yeah, well, you're traveling in commerce. So look, yeah, because you're still going to be spending money with banks and financial institutions. That's why they treat you like a driver. So anywho, surety, someone who assumes direct liability for another's obligation. So if I talked about primary liability and secondary liability. So the primary liability on all account would be the bank or financial institution or servicer. That's the primary liability. The secondary liability would be the account holder, i.e. the primary. All right. So look, financial creditors may require the debtor to find a surety. Now, does that make sense? Now, if I sign a loan, now I know my name in all capital letters, really, it don't, the lowercase, uppercase, it don't fucking matter. Pardon my French. That stuff don't matter. These people be getting y'all all into my case and my numbers are all in uppercase, and I can find a styles manual that's saying that's not right. And who cares? Okay, you know that you're there in regards to that matter. Doesn't matter if the name is uppercase, lowercase. Okay, what matters is the evidence that got you there. That's what matters. All right. So the bank or the court is trying to find a debtor, meaning a liable party. That's why you're the defendant. Well, guess what? The defendant can become a plaintiff. Very simple. Okay. Although similar to a guarantor, see, they use these phrases like they intertwine. A financial surety's liability arises as soon as the agreement is closed. See? Now, the agreement defaults to you because you don't understand this. They didn't teach you this shit in school. How were you supposed to know this? You weren't. So when I make a channel and somebody's saying you're putting out nothing but useless information, that lets me know I'm on the right path because it's useless to you. That's why it's on the right path. When I'm making videos, I'm not making videos for everybody because everybody's not going to enjoy your video. You have to make videos for yourself. These are like breadcrumbs for me to find my way if I get lost. That's why my videos are in a context that everybody can't understand. That's what people don't get. I've gotten more success on YouTube for making videos for myself than I have ever gotten for making videos for anybody else. When I was getting 30,000 views, I was making videos for myself. And I was shocked that anybody else watched it. So you got to understand what the surety is, okay? So they're trying to get you to be the liable party. This is the same in parole. This is the same in court cases. There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, because the traffic ticket is an EOD, evidence of indebtedness. That's a, oh my God, that's spell indebtedness with a D. What the hell what am I thinking about? Okay, I'm tripping. The traffic ticket is evidence of indebtedness. I'm wilding today. All right. So you have to understand anything that is paper that has words, documents, all goes, look, any writing or printed document, including letters, memoranda, legal or business documents, and books of account. Well, what do you think a traffic ticket is? A book of account is a charge. When you give them your driver's license, they're charging it like a credit card. And then they're giving you evidence of the charge. And the evidence of the charge is what? The traffic ticket. And you're not understanding what to do with it because you're like, hold up. This is evidence of indebtedness. That means you have a right to challenge it. That means you have a right to object to it. That means you have a right to object to it being used as evidence. People kill me. Like in my comment section, I see a bunch of people, and they'll be saying, "Oh, yeah, especially the right to travel ones." I think what happens is like these police officers with these fake accounts or these lawyers with these fake accounts, they just sit there and wait for right to travel videos to come up because you can filter your YouTube to show what you want to see, and then they just comment on it, comment on it, comment on it. Okay, look, remember, for all you guys or people, women, man is just man and woman. When I say man, is man and woman. Okay, Constitution. Okay, I've said many times you don't really need a constitutional challenge, but when it comes to foreclosures and certain things, you may need a constitutional challenge. They're going to tell you that no, it's within the Constitution that we seize property, etc. Yes, and I know what grounds they're talking about, but constitutionally, you have to seize somebody's property right? That's why you go through the court. Okay, so the court is there to ensure fairness. Now does that mean that the court is going to be fair? No. The court is there to ensure fairness. Okay, the court is just there as a records custodian. So if you understand what's going on in court, when you deposit your documents and start a court case, you have to have the books, you have to have the evidence, you have to have everything that is stated in this. All right. So so look, any letters, memorandum, legal or business documents, and books of accounting. As it, yeah. So when the bank is sending you stuff, correspondence, you got to scan that into your stuff too if you don't already have it. So remember, when all these people tell you, oh, the banks are trying to not send you stuff electronically, blah blah blah, because they're trying to rob you of your rights. No, they're not. They're trying to send you something electronically because it's easier. It's easier than actually going into court and or not court, sending it through the mail. So we all see how, with these few years, we all see how the mail has been hindered, it's been slowed up. So when you're understanding that, it's easier because they're already going to upload your next statement on the internet. You see what I'm saying? So they don't have to send it for you still to have a right to, use the remittance as a paper chattel document or a bearer paper if you want to. All right. There's other ways to discharge your debt. That's just some way that some people know. EFTs, drafts, EFTPS. What else? I'm trying to just think of all the other ways. You could do bankruptcy if you know what you're doing. There's so many ways to get rid of debt. Okay, just letters, etc. All right. So remember, the Constitution protects people for unreasonable searches and seizures in respects to their papers, as well as their houses and persons. Right. So wouldn't a person be an entity? Wouldn't that be the so-called alleged so-called straw man that people are talking about? A written or printed evidence of a debt. See? The reason why you lose is because you never have that same evidence, vice versa. All right. So I'm hoping that this gets to some of you guys, so we can stop the blame game and start becoming fucking adults. Like there's a lot of people out here blaming everybody for their success or everybody for their failure, but they don't give them people credit for their success. Like when I have people that are successful, I don't go on the internet and be like, hey. Sometimes I will. Like if I'm actually filming a video and somebody sent me something and they said they got remedy or whatever, I'll say, hey, yeah, congratulations for getting remedy and dealing with your taxes. Congratulations for remedy and dealing with all this other stuff. All right. You have to deal with the evidence of indebtedness. I keep telling you this. I don't know how many times I can tell you this. I done made videos on YouTube or Instagram. I'm telling you, this is what is locking you in, not your guru, not whoever you're looking at. They're not your problem. Your problem is your lack of understanding. Okay, so we all have to build our understanding by studying on our own. You can't study this stuff one time a week and then be like, how come I don't get it? You can't study this stuff 2 hours out of a month and be like, oh, why am I not getting remedy? Why isn't I sent out a bunch of letters? I cannot give you a template that speaks directly to your situation. The only person I can do that is you. Why? Because people lie to me. I've had, how many people, when I do a consultation, people lie to me. Oh, blah, blah, blah. I guess they're lying to me. Really, they lying to themselves. So then they wonder why I can't get remedy. Why don't I understand this? You should be asking yourself, why did I stop paying? I would never tell nobody to stop paying until you understand all of this stuff. When you understand all of this stuff and you know how to do an administrative process, and you know how to enforce it, that's when you can stop paying. If you don't know none of that, keep on paying, baby. Keep on paying. And anybody will tell you that. Because if you don't know how to assert your rights, then you're always gonna be backpedaling. You're always gonna be backpedaling. Everybody cannot get this stuff. If they could, everybody would be discharging everything. If it was so easy to just pay for a video or a consultation, everybody would just be doing it. So even the people who got way bigger platforms than me, I guarantee you have a low percentage of people who succeed. I mean, think about how many people are in the gym. You know what I'm saying? How many people who actually are personal trainers? How many people really from a personal trainer end up making it to Mr. Olympia or something? Very rare. How many people who train basketball actually make it to the NBA? It's only 450 spots. Rare. Football, 55 man, was it 55, 60 man roster? Very rare. So you're thinking that every person who does this is supposed to get remedy is bananas. Every person that does this, right? All of us, we have access to the laptops, right? We have the ability to look up stuff, right? Right. A person gets sick, they go into a doctor, right? The doctor prescribes them some medicine, right? The medicine doesn't fix what the person's sickness is. The reason why the medicine doesn't fix it could be multiple reasons. It could be, hey, the doctor is lying to you. B, you're not in tune with yourself to actually see what's going on with you. So when it comes to remedy, it's always going to be you. It's always going to be you because I can help you. I can give you consultation. We can do consultation after consultation. But if your philosophy, if your ideology does not change, I cannot help you. And that's with anybody because a lot of people who do consultations are very close minded. They just want, I seen this on the internet and that's why I want to do it. Like, it's not a lot of research put in, or like I was researching this and I needed clarity on certain things or whatever, blah, 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 blah. And sometimes you do get those. But, you know, I just want people to understand why everybody doesn't get remedy. It's not everybody doesn't get remedy because it's the guru you're following. Everybody doesn't know themselves. How you gonna get remedy in life if you don't know yourself? How is shit gonna work out for you in life? Sorry, I'm cursing in this one, but if you have no knowledge of self, how you gonna ask somebody what do I mean to say right here? How do I say it? That's what you're basically when you ask somebody for a template, that's basically what you're saying. I can't speak for myself. I'm not even an adult. That's kind of messed up when you sit back and think about it. I'm an adult. I don't even know how to speak for myself. So how can a person help somebody like that? You have to learn how to articulate what you're saying. That's why a lot of letters or so-called templates from gurus don't work because they can't speak on your situation. Why do you think I have the video called Mind Your Business? Mind Your Business is saying you should be able to articulate your own business. Then I go through Mind Your Business and show you that you have a business in your name. It doesn't say anything to do with your birth certificate. It has to do with you conducting business in that name. You conduct business in the name of your birth certificate. Through that, you conduct business and create accounts. Through those accounts, you are over the age of 18. That's why you lose your rights because you contracted into these agreements. You're over the age of 18, and you agreed to the terms of the agreement. And most of you guys don't even know how to get out of it. You're not even paying attention. You don't understand contract law. And that's the sum of everything you're going through in life. And I have a video for that too. So, with that being said, I hope this rant showed you that the key to you understanding this is you. You have to be in touch with yourself. You have to know. You have to know what your goal is. What you like. I was just talking to a young lady last night, and she was like, "So, what are you gonna do? You gonna move? You gonna do this?" And I was like, "Right now, I'm in a situation where I'm kind of stagnated, and because I'm like, I don't know what I want to do. Like I have everything ahead of me. I can go move in any direction I want to, and I've never been in that situation. So it's a weird situation for me. So with that being said, I wish everybody success. And I think that this was a needed conversation. And I know that this video is probably not going to get no views, but in my opinion, this is a needed video because a lot of times I've seen this before. I've seen like people saying a guru, this person is a scam artist. I had people come to me telling me so-called gurus were they would never get remedy and they didn't spend all this money with this person. And like I had to talk about it because I was like, well, I don't want to badmouth a bunch of people because if you start badmouthing people, you become just as bad as the people you badmouth. So I hope that if you're having a little trouble figuring this stuff out, that you actually take time and you don't panic. You have to understand that all of this is just paper. If somebody is sending you a piece of paper in the mail that they're going to evict you, or uh, they're going to foreclose on you, repossess, it's just a piece of paper. So be calm. All right. Stop panicking because a lot of y'all be panicking. And then y'all start panicking, y'all make me panic because nervous energy make me nervous. So it takes me out of my square too. So I have to be very wary of that too. You know, I can't take fear-based people on. Like sometimes I just gotta be like, all right, no, you better on your own, figure it out on your own. But just wanted y'all to know that. So just because you're not figuring it out at the same rate that everybody else is figuring it out, or it seems like everybody's figuring it out quicker than you, it doesn't matter. It matters who understands it all at the end. Some people could be getting remedy. They might get a car. They might get rid of taxes, etc. But the person who is going to win in the end is the person who understands everything. That's the person that is going to win because they're going to be able to heighten their level of knowledge and turn it up. And with that being said, I'm out.